We've seen some amazing things, but that, my friends, is something we've never seen.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Brandon Month's Advice.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice. You just locked yourself into the playoffs.
Nice.
Got it.
Talk with old Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Completely speechless, to say the least.
Man, I am honestly so baffled by that decision. Brandon Cruz Month's Advice. It's Brandon Month's Advice.
Green flag in the air. Brandon Cruz Month's Advice to the front.
How are you guys doing? This is the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast, focusing on the Atlanta Cup race, Folds of Honor, QuikTrip 500, whatever it is. I think it's 100. It's like 313 laps, 15, whatever. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. First off, I'm doing this for you guys because there's quite a lot of people messaging me on Twitter and YouTube asking if I could just do a video based on the Cup race. Sorry it's coming out so late. I was at work today. I had to do a lot of things. Also, did pretty good in the trucks. I didn't cash with my Xfinity lineup, but I cashed with my trucks lineup. I'm very happy with that. Already in the green this year, and the trucks have been amazing. I've made money in both truck series so far. It was fantastic. So I am very happy about that. So, what am I doing? Oh yeah. So far we're kicking some ass right now. So this upcoming race tomorrow has 37 cars. I'm sure you already know this. I'm just going to go over it for whatever reasons. I just gotta say, I love these Mustangs. I love how they look, but that's just me being stupid and liking things. So right now there's 162 points available on DraftKings for fast laps and 81.5 points for laps led, I believe. So that's what we have right now. Those are the quote-unquote hog points, and I'm going to go over things that I'm looking at entering tomorrow's race, notes that I've written down, and things that I've heard, quote-unquote, around the industry, blah, 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 of what people think are cheap plays and people are thinking are their own plays, whatever. Okay, so my before final practice, which was based off of just the practice on Friday, before final practice, I was really happy in looking at the 14, 96, 36, 37, 8, 22, 12, 9, 2, and 4. So for those of you that don't know who drives those, it's Boyer, Kligerman, Tiff, Busher, Hemrick, Logano, Blaney, Elliott, Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick. Now, Kevin Harvick had some power steering issues in the first practice. He really wasn't able to get any times through. They did end up fixing that in the final practice. I think they switched the shit like 3 or 4 times. They just basically redid the whole steering configuration for that car. And then Keselowski was actually ill today with flu-like symptoms. I think he had like a stomach ailment or something going on. So we'll have to even see if he races tomorrow. We'll have to see if he starts and does a driver switch. I believe I still think DraftKings would honor whoever starts the car because that's how NASCAR does it. Like whoever starts it, they get the credit of where the car finishes, regardless of not if they finish the race or not. And then on 10 lap averages on the first practice, it was just the 11 and 20 who did more than 10 laps. So those are the only 2 guys there. Don't really care about that a whole lot. So looking at final practice. About half an hour in right now, we had Kevin Harvick, the fastest car. Well, actually, we had Kyle Busch, the fastest car on the track, but he ended up wrecking. He's going to go to a backup car. It shouldn't really affect DFS too much. I don't remember where he's starting, but it didn't really. Let me look that up right fast. Where is Kyle Busch starting? Because he will keep his starting position from where he qualified. So he's going to be credited with a 6th place starting finish. So unless you think he's going to win, I don't see a reason to play Kyle Busch unless you think he's going to finish in the top 5, which will be a long day for him, a long day for anyone who rosters him. So I'm really not using Kyle Busch, but this really doesn't concern us because he wasn't the favorite going into this race. He didn't have, I mean, he had a fast car, but I don't think he was going to win the race. So anyway, half an hour in, we had Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex, and Daniel Hemrick, the fastest in 10 lap runs. So looking at before we get to the end of final practice, looking at things that drivers that I'm looking at in the back, like I said in the video yesterday, I like Blaney, Logano, Elliott, just because like they're hard to lose you points. Like, for example, Logano, he can only lose 10 positions. Ryan Blaney can only lose a maximum of 11 positions, and there's only 37 cars. It's basically a frickin' truck race at this point, like the old-fashioned truck races with 36 trucks in it. Like we don't have the massive 43 car fields anymore. It's hard to really lose positions, and I think that helps FanDuel a lot. Just because if someone wrecks and doesn't finish laps, they don't get any points, and hopefully you can just not have those guys. So anyway, I just like picking guys on the back just for that reason. I've already gone over it with the Daytona race, and you should know how I feel about that stuff. And then fastest 10-lap averages that I'm really paying attention to at the end of final practice. Kyle Busch topped the charts, but he crashed in that car. So then if you look at it without Kyle Busch, it's Larson the fastest, Truex, Harvick, Hemrick, Bowman, Stenhouse, Byron, and Logano. Those are the top guys that I'm looking at. And I'm really going to trust this and really look at it to make my lineups tomorrow, to pick the drivers that I like tomorrow. I'm not really worried about track history. I think this new Aero package, while it isn't going to be insane, like 3-wide racing in the field, I think it's going to at least change the track up a little bit. And I've had a couple of people ask me what I think the race is going to be like. And if you look at the All-Star race from last year, a lot of people expected like 3-wide racing, pack racing. It really wasn't that. It was and this isn't the exact package. They made some changes here and there, but I think what it's going to be is really the first like 5 cars, the fastest cars, are still going to be able to pull away from the pack. They just won't be leading by like 12 seconds or whatever, at least not in like the first 20 laps like we saw at some points last year. I think the first 5 are going to be able to break away, or at least the faster cars are going to be able to break away, and then we'll see more pack racing in the middle of the field, like, I don't know, like 13th on back. Like, I think that's where all the passing is going to be. I think it's still going to be a boring fest up in the front. I don't really see a whole lot going that way. Looking at DK pricing, if you just look at it right now, like obviously the chalk is going to be Logano, Harvick, Keselowski, and Elliott. I just think those are the main heavy guys back there. And if you look, say if you want to make a lineup with Elliott, Logano, and Blaney, you're looking only at an average of $6,566 left to complete your lineup. And while that is possible, I think you're gonna need the person who leads all the laps. And if you just stack it with these guys in the back, you're not going to get those major points. So you might have to either fade one of these guys in the back or pick them and then just drop to like no one's at the bottom of the pricings. And I was laughing at some of the comments because I was yawning a whole lot in the last video. So I've made sure to drink my coffee, do my cocaine, and I am up and ready. I am rolling today, so don't worry, I'm not gonna be yawning or anything. Like I said, we're going to have to choose who to fade in the back, and we're going to have to choose either between like Ryan Preece, Hemrick, all those guys in the back, like Klickerman, like the people that I was talking about, to win you money. I think that's where the decisions are going to be made. Okay, so going down to my DK plays, I wanted to cover this because I've been listening to some podcasts and some people who are talking about the super secret play of the day, the play that no one is going to look at, and that's Daniel Hemrick, like the 8 car. No one's going to play Daniel Hemrick. He doesn't have any history here, blah, 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 blah. Listen, Hemrick is in a good car. I don't care what you care about RCR. What is he, starting like 30th or something stupid like that? Are you kidding me? Maybe 20, I don't even remember. Whatever. Off the top of my head. Are you kidding me? Like, dude, it's Daniel Hemrick. Where is this guy starting? Let's just look right fast. He is Nope. That's lap averages. I need qualifying. He is starting 28th. He does not have a 28th place car. Hell, Ryan Newman last year didn't have a 28th place car. Hemrick is... I'd bet money right now Hemrick finishes 19th, 18th, or 17th. I guarantee it. And if he does way above that, then he's gone above and beyond the Call of Duty of what we want. I mean, I understand why some people think Hemrick will not be highly owned. I think he's easily going to be at 19% tomorrow, maybe a bit higher. Maybe I think it'll probably end up being higher than 19% with all these idiots talking about him, and even including myself. But I think Daniel Hemrick's a really good play. He's cheap, but I don't think he's going to be low owned. I think he's going to be a chalky play, not as chalky as Logano and Blaney, but certainly he's going to gain some ownerships. And actually, because of that, I think Chris Buescher and Matt Tiff are legit the ways to go, because you can go with Ryan Preece. Because I mean, the chalk is going to go to Logano and Blaney. I'm looking at just the qualifying placers right now. That's how my game theory works in my head. So if you open up right now, pause the video, go open up qualifying or how the race is going to start tomorrow, and look at 25th on down. So you have Ryan Preece, Blaney, Logano, Hemrick, Wallace, Buescher, Matt Tiff, and Ross Chastain. Everyone's going to be using Logano, Blaney, and probably Hemrick. I just think people are going to be using Hemrick. It's going to be the opposite of what people are going to think. He's not going to be low owned. He's going to be highly owned. Hell, you could even throw in Reagan. I don't think Reagan would. Man, I think Reagan at most could finish like 19th. So maybe if you want to throw in like a low-owned David Reagan, low-owned Corey LaJoie, that I don't know why he's even. Fuck, I don't know. He was fast as fuck in final practice. I mean, he was up there. He wasn't dog shit. I'll make a lot of lineups, and I'll probably have some with LaJoie and Reagan in there. But I think Reagan's a way to get off of some of the higher-owned guys. Preece is Buescher and Matt. I think no one's going to play Matt Tiff. I don't know why. I mean, he's in a front row motorsports car, but he's not 31st bad. And even Ross Chastain, a lot of people are liking Ross Chastain. I like him too, but I think he's going to gain ownership too, because everyone knows that he races every goddamn thing that NASCAR throws out there. Every weekend he's doing like 3 rides a weekend or whatever. At least, I don't know. It's crazy. So Logano high own, Blaney high own. You can get off of those two with Preece and Hemrick. I think Hemrick is going to gain a little bit more ownership than Preece. I think Preece will be at 17%, and I think Hemrick will be above 20, at least above 19 at minimum. Buescher, I think Buescher is going to be. I think Buescher's going to be at 24, and I think Matt Tiff's going to be at 15%. Ross Chastain is going to be at 25%. And I think Parker Kligerman is going to be maybe 30% owned. I could be totally fucking wrong. That's just me guessing. I'm not using any spreadsheets or anything to calculate that. I just think that's how it's going to be. So going down to my DK plays, my quote-unquote plays, because I like people. I don't have plays, but some people like to hear me say plays or drivers that I like. So I like Hemrick, Logano, Blaney, Elliott. I also like Byron too. I haven't really focused on the top of the field because I was saving it for this. I really like Byron. I like Harvick, and my God, I think Bowyer's going to win this fucking race. I don't know what his odds are right now in Vegas, and usually I don't really care a whole lot about winners, but I like Clint Bowyer, man. He is fast. He's fastest in all the practices. He's not really showing up on the 10-lap averages, but I think he's going to be so far ahead he doesn't really need to worry about that. I think if you can get ahead of people with this draft package, if you can get out in front, you're going to stay out in front. So I'm not real worried about that. I think I have Bowyer as who I think is going to win this race and who's going to lead the most amount of laps. Now, I could be wrong. I don't like the way this qualifying went because, like, let's be honest, Stenhouse Jr. is starting second. Eric Almirola is the first. Like, I mean, Eric ain't bad anymore, but, man, what is this? Austin Dillon in 10th? Like, oh, man, it's a weird qualifying. I mean, a lot of the good guys messed up time, so... Even Hamlin too. Even Hamlin could be good. But man, I am really liking Clint Bowyer to win this race. And I like Hemrick so I like Bowyer, Hemrick as a play. I'd probably end up throwing Logano and Blaney into a lineup together. Try and put Bowyer in there, try and put Hemrick in there, and just see what I have left, and probably change it from there on out and see where it goes. And then, really, I mean, just low-owned people. No one's going to own Suarez. I don't think you need to own Suarez. I like Martin Truex if you want to be different. I also really like Paul Menard starting 14th. I think Paul Menard could actually finish 14th. I think he can keep up there. And if people don't gain positions or if they lose positions, I think Paul Menard would be a good play. I mean, these guys are going to be low-owned. Like, Paul Menard is going to be like 7% owned. And like I said, I like William Byron, but I think Alex Bowman's going to go under-owned because people are going to either go to Bowman, Harvick, or Keselowski. Matt DiBenedetto is also going to be lower-owned, and I think Matt DiBenedetto is actually having a top 15 car this year. We're going to see that 95 actually compete for wins, and I'm not just saying that after the run at Daytona. They legit have a program over there that's actually kicking some ass. I think Casey Kane was such a dog shit driver. He really let them down, but I think Matt DiBenedetto is actually gonna do some work this year, and I think I'm calling it right now. Matt DiBenedetto is gonna make the chase. You can call me crazy right now, but I think Matt DiBenedetto does that. And man, those are my opinions. I'm not really looking at anyone else. Like people that I'm not looking at playing is like Jimmy Johnson. I like Jimmy. He ain't done. But I don't see him being a play this week. I don't see McDowell being a play. I don't see Newman being a play. I don't see Suarez being a play. I don't see Stenhouse or Eric Almirola being a play. I'm not sure what to think about Corey LaJoie. I'm still going to think on that. I'll probably end up making all my lineups tomorrow. That's usually how I do these. If I'm making a video that night, I'm going to go over them and just see what happens. I'll dick around. I'll probably have at least maybe 4 or 5 lineups tomorrow into the big $10 tournament. A couple other ones in the 3. We'll just have to see. And that is it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you guys like this, let me know. If you guys want me to bullshit a little bit more, let me know. If you guys just want me to focus on the stats and what my opinions are, let me know. I appreciate you guys listening and dropping all the likes and comments. Just thank you guys so much. You are what keeps this rolling. And as I've said before, follow me on Twitter. Ask me anything on Twitter. Ask me anything on the comments of this video. And my PayPal's in the description if you guys would like to donate. I also had a couple of guys ask me if I had a Patreon. I do not have a Patreon, but if I get enough interest, I mean, we're talking more down the line, but if I get people that actually listen and that like me for who I am and not just the stuff I'm giving out, man, I might throw up a Patreon, so we'll just see how that goes. But thank you guys so much for listening. Best of luck with your DFS tomorrow, and stay safe, and don't get married to your money, and best of luck. Thank you for listening.